Welcome to Financial Investing Radio, where you'll learn the secrets for consistent, high-probability returns in the financial markets for additional income to change your life. Grant applies consistent, high-probability trading systems for the financial markets. He's only recently started sharing these tried and true market secrets. As a gift to listeners, Grant is offering his roadmap to high-probability financial control. Go to financialinvestingradio.com and download yours today. Now, here's your host and trading veteran, Grant Larson.
Hey everybody, this is Grant. So one night we were driving our family up through the mountains. It was snowing and blowing and very hard to see. And typically some sort of road grime, right, starts to build up and you begin using your windshield wipers on the back windshield. So in this case, I sprayed some washer fluid, right, on it. And this was on the back window, and it smudged. It didn't clean it off. I thought, wow, that's some pretty sticky road grime. So eventually, I needed to pull over and get some gas for the car. Well, I was standing near the back of the car. I took a moment to clean off the back windshield. And at that moment, I realized that it was not road grime or dirt. It was oil. And I got very worried at that moment, right? You know, the long story short is our transmission had begun leaking and was going out. And man, was I ever grateful that it didn't go out while I was going over the mountain pass. So wow, right? You really got to keep an eye on that, right? So there are many kinds of investment and trading indicators to use, right? So we don't often interpret them correctly, just like I didn't interpret the smudge on my window correctly. I thought it was just some really persistent road grime that I couldn't get off. So the question is, what indicators do you use for making your investment and trading decisions? So generally, you're going to want something that helps you to see the movement of price over time, right? These are often moving averages. But which moving averages should you use? Well, that certainly depends on the frequency of your investment and on your trading decision. So if you're looking to trade for longer term periods of time, you're probably going to use daily, weekly, monthly based moving averages, right? But how many indicators do you really need, right? You can go through a lot of time trying to figure out what is the right indicator setup to use. Now I first mentioned, hey, let's look at price movements over time, and that is certainly critical. But what if we took time out of the equation? What if we just looked at price movement? So there are some investors and traders who use things such as range charts and tick charts, right? And on those charts, each bar on the chart reflects a range of movement, regardless of the time that it took to move there. And so you have to think about, well, all right, am I going to have multiple charts with representing different time frames, and then I'm going to put moving averages on those? Or am I going to create charts that have time as a secondary factor, so using tick or range charts, focusing on movement, but then you have multiple levels on that, right? You have one that is a higher level, so it has to move even further in order for a bar to show on your chart, or of course a shorter movement. And so you can accomplish multiple levels, if you will, multiple price movement levels on charts and have different moving averages on those. Now, you have to find out what's going to work for you. A lot of folks will use time frames. I've done both throughout my trading. So I have used both the tick and the range charts as well as the time frame charts. So today I use the time frame charts. But there's pros and cons to each of those. One of the things that's useful is to understand with time the time of day or the time of the month when certain things happen in the market. And I've learned that that's a critical factor in a lot of trading. Now, it's not so much that there's magic there, but you do want to know at what time certain traders are doing certain things, or certain investors are doing certain things, or at what time is an economic report coming out, or what time are the earnings reports coming out for a particular stock, whatever it is. So time is an incredibly critical element to our investing and our trading decisions. We can't ignore it. And we also want to know the time and time frames that other traders are making decisions on. That also becomes extremely critical. So we started talking about indicators, and you need to have several kinds of indicators, certainly. Price movement over time is one. Now, there are other indicators, right, such as the level of volatility in the market, as well as other indicators like range of movement, as well as regression. There are oscillators and volume-based indicators. Wow, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, right? There's a lot of stuff out there. Look, here's a tip. If you're looking to determine what to use, I found it helpful to have multiple time frame charts, regardless of the level or frequency of your trading or investing decisions. You got to figure out how often you want to be in the market, okay? So you got to have that. And then on those, you're going to want to have several moving averages on each of those charts. And also a way to visualize the level of volatility and momentum that's taking place on each of those time frames, right? Now, actually, you can keep it pretty simple because, without having too much indicators. So sometimes, with too many indicators, it's like getting oil smudged all over your car window and you can't actually see what's going on. So here's the key point. Keep it simple and keep your eyes on the road, right? Don't have so much noise on there with so many indicators. Most of them are lagging anyway. So just keep it to a few simple ones across multiple time frames. Moving averages are important. Understanding current volatility, momentum levels is important. And then know your market structure, right? Where have previous resistance or support levels been? Things like that. It's important to keep it simple. Keep your eyes on the road. Okay, thanks for joining. And until next time, keep it simple.
Thank you for joining Grant on Financial Investing Radio. Remember to subscribe and leave feedback. Don't forget to download your free roadmap to high probability financial control before you make an investment decision. Visit financialinvestingradio.com now.